Congratulations to the 9 African countries that have officially qualified for the World Cup. They include Egypt, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Cape Verde, Senegal, South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ghana. Congratulations to the 9 countries. It's no small feat to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Now, today, what I'm going to talk about is the 4 North African countries that have qualified and how they fared in previous Mundials. The first on my list is Egypt. Egypt became the first ever African country to qualify for a World Cup. They qualified for their first World Cup in 1934, and so far they've gone ahead to qualify for 4 World Cups: 1934, 1990, 2018, and just recently 2026. Now, despite being the first African country that has qualified for the first ever World Cup by an African country, they have never made it out of the group stage games. Yes, in fact, in 7 games played in the last 3 qualifiers before 2026 that is yet to come, they have played 7 games. They had 5 defeats and 2 draws. They've not won a game in any of this World Cup tournaments that they've played in. 1934, they didn't win any game. 1990 rather, they didn't win any game. 2018, they did not win any game. And now they qualify for 2026. Will 2026 be their season or their era of breaking the jinx of not winning any game in the World Cup? It remains to be seen. Probably Mo Salah and the rest, the likes of Mamouche, Mo Salah, and a couple of other Egyptian players might turn up in the course of next year's World Cup. Let's see what happens at the end of the day. The next on my list is Algeria. Algeria has qualified for the World Cup 5 times: 1982, 1986, 2010, 2014, and now 2026. They got to the round of 16 once. Yes, they got to the round of 16 once, and that was in 2014. They played that round of 16 again against Germany. Germany ended up winning the 2014 World Cup, and they got into extra time. Yes, extra 30 minutes in that particular game against Germany. But at the end of the day, Germany were scaled through into the quarterfinal. So Algeria they qualified for the World Cup 5 times, and they got to the round of 16 once, and that was in 2014. The next on my list is Tunisia. Tunisia have qualified for 7 World Cup editions. Yes, they've qualified for 7 World Cup editions, and they've been consistent in the last 3. Yes, that is 2018, 2022, and now 2026. They've qualified for 3 World Cups in a row. Now, that is consistency for them. But despite this consistency, the first World Cup qualification was in 1978, 1998, 2002, 2006, 2018, 2022, and just recently 2026. Despite all these consistencies, they have not made it past the group stage. There's 7 qualifications, 6, and now the 7th one being the one for 2026. Will they be breaking this jinx of not making it out of the group stage games, or will it be same of same? Let's see what happens at the end of it. And the last but not the least on my list is Morocco. Morocco has qualified for 7 World Cup editions. The first was in Mexico, 1970. Yes, that was the very first time qualifying for the World Cup. 1970, 1986, 1994, 1998, 2018, 2022, and just recently 2026. Yes, in the last 3 editions, they've been very, very intentional. They've qualified just like we have to this year. They've qualified for 7 World Cup editions, and the last 3 editions of the World Cup: 2018, 2022, and 2026. Now, the beautiful thing about Morocco is that they are the only African country to have qualified for the semi-finals, that they finished in the semi-finals of the World Cup. They became the first African country to finish in the semi-finals, the first Arabian country to finish in the semi-finals of a Mundial. That's massive. And like I said, they have been very, very intentional when it comes to their footballing activities. The last WAFCON that was played, it was held in Morocco. The forthcoming CAF playoff, the playoffs of 4 countries that will be vying for a spot for Africa to represent Africa in the Inter-Confederation or the Intercontinental playoffs for the World Cup. Yes, they are going to host that in November, and come December and January 2026, December 2025 and January 2026, they will be hosting the AFCON. Yes, the AFCON games, the tournament will be held in Morocco. It's been one football activity or the other, because they have done well for themselves. Like, the structures, the facilities in that country is top notch. So kudos to Morocco. Will they be replicating what they did in 2022 in 2026? That's a question that all will be in the hearts of Africans and of course Moroccans. Let's see what happens. Thank you so much. So far, 4 North African countries have qualified for the World Cup. Egypt, yes, the first African country that ever qualified for the first ever World Cup, though they've qualified 4 times, but they have not made it past the group stage, and they have never won a game in the World Cup before. 5 defeats, 2 draws. The second on my list is Algeria. Algeria made it in 2014 to the round of 16, but they were trashed by the eventual winners, Germany. Tunisia have qualified 7 times, but they have not made it past the group stage games. And Morocco, 7 times they have qualified. In the last three editions, just like Tunisia, they qualified for the last 3 editions, and they made it to the semi-final of the World Cup. Do you think another African country will be joining Morocco to make it to the semis or even the finals? Let's see what happens in the World Cup coming up in 2026. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name remains Ebere Oji, and I see you. The weekend is close by. Yes. Pre-match analysis for the games that we played in the EPL and also in the La Liga. Probably I might be doing Bundesliga or the Serie A. Who knows? Let's see what happens. Thank you very much. My name remains Ebere Oji, and enjoy the rest of your day. This is me saying peace out. Bye.